Oh my God.
Hi, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. And this is the Digs with Dee Dee, and we got our shovels out for the second time. So I want to talk about Married to Medicine. This is actually my show. I have actually loved this show since it first came on. I didn't really like the LA one. It was okay, but obviously Bravo didn't like it either because they didn't bring the show back. But the one in Atlanta has been on point in regards to keeping the ratings up and them continuing to roll out the seasons. I am getting annoyed in regards to certain people's positioning on the show and whether they still belong on the show at all. So I did watch the first part of the reunion. I'm just going to kind of talk about some things that happened on that reunion. And then I want to also dip back into some information about Miss Quad, who don't got it and needs to sit down. Quad is just a little bit exhausting to me, y'all. I'm not saying, of course, obviously, Quad has her fan base, but I just feel like Quad has never really came off to me to be an authentic person. And that's why she is not able to keep a man. I just don't feel like she's authentic. I don't feel like she's real. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. I do want to kind of go over a little bit of what Andy was talking to the gals about on the first part of the reunion. I'm going to kind of speed through it. We don't need to see everything, but in the beginning, Andy seemed a little concerned as to why Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie were not sharing the same dressing room. As we all know, all of these years, as the reunions came up, they did that. That was like their thing as friends that they would do. Jackie has been a dirty bird. I'm sorry, I don't really like Jackie. And I think that some of y'all, the internet can forget very, very quickly and be very forgiving. I'm not saying you shouldn't forgive people, but you also should always know who and what you're dealing with and kind of keep your eye on people. Remember when Jackie got caught when her and Dr. Demon, Dr. Heavenly, was having their little show on the YouTube. Is that where she got caught saying some ignorant things about black women in regards to her feelings that black women aren't upcoming and really honest about their symptoms when they go to the doctors? She feels like black women kind of exaggerate their symptoms. I don't like that woman. Her attitude, her personality just does not sit right with me. I don't think she brings anything to the show. I mean, the last time that her plot was really interesting or she really had a storyline was when Curtis cheated on her, unfortunately. And that was when she kind of like had a story. I don't believe this woman has had a storyline since Curtis cheated on her. I just don't look at her as someone who brings anything to the show. I think she is very unauthentic and very fake. I don't like her personality. And I remember when you said that about the black women, and she just, I think the money and the kind of the notoriety and the fame have gotten to her head. She needs to be taken off of the show. Give somebody else, give another doctor in Atlanta who has a family an opportunity at this show, Andy. I don't think Dr. Jackie brings anything to the show, and I don't think that she's a good friend to Dr. Simone either. I have had friends like her, fence riders, people who are afraid to pick sides, people who are afraid to just say when somebody is wrong and stand in that. And I don't believe that she's that type of person at all. I'm not a Dr. Jackie fan. Simone comes off to be difficult sometimes, but I feel it's because she's more misunderstood and she's fighting to be heard most of the time. That's why she's so loud. That's why she's so loud. I think she's even fighting to be heard in her own home, as unfortunately we saw the clip with her, Cecil, and their sons. She's just, I resonate with that as a woman, getting loud, kind of trying to stand your ground because you don't feel like you're being heard even in your own household. But I'm kind of going to go ahead and watch a little bit of this. You guys, let's just dig into this reunion a little bit.
To Simone's room today, and you and Jackie were not sharing, as you've done, I think, every year. Why is that, Simone?
I needed Jackie. She failed to deliver. And so I just wanted to be in a room by myself.
We are going to get into this a little bit later. I'm really hoping that we can get this to a better place, and I'm confident that we can.
Not to cut off, because he's about to get to talking about Toya and like buying a new house and all that. Toya, that was not your first time buying a new house, so we're gonna stay on Simone for a little bit longer. But I don't know. I feel bad for Simone. I feel bad for her. I feel like she has been a loyal friend to Jackie. She at the very least deserves that loyalty back from Jackie. And I feel like Jackie has been struggling with giving her that loyalty with Dr. Heavenly for several seasons. We saw how serious it got between her and Jackie. And, you know, Heavenly is one of those people that does not mind coming in between two people in their relationship. And it's kind of like, it's hard to watch someone get so much joy out of kind of seeing a relationship that has so much history like Dr. Jackie and Simone come apart, because she is the common denominator in that. I don't like her. You know, you're running for, I don't know what you're running for, but you need to be not running, you need to be sitting. You know, have your dentistry, your practice. You've been successful at doing that. You done crawled your way on this show. I don't like her. She's rude. She's ignorant. She's unhinged. For someone who's so educated, she just seems like she cannot control her mouth at all. She doesn't come off to be someone distinguished by any means. Like, I just feel like you need to sit in that office and keep being a dentist, you know, and do what you're doing. I don't like her. You don't belong in politics. You're not refined. It's not doing it for me, honey. Sit down. I hope she don't win. Is this mean of me? We don't need any more fake black politicians. And I feel like if she got a position in like some type of political position, she would be what we've already had. There's too many black politicians that make all these fake promises because they know that all the black people are going to get behind them. And then when they get in there, they're not about anything but about the dollar bill. We know that they're out there. Several black politicians who are doing absolutely nothing in their positions in their communities. She would be the same way. She would get in there just to get the money, just to say she got a position, and she wouldn't be doing anything that she's saying she's going to do. I don't like her. I mean, and she actually, Dr. Damon, I used to like him, but I feel like she kind of tainted him in a way. I don't know. He deals with her. He loves her. I feel like she's just, I don't like her. I just don't like her. It's given, I don't like her.
In her closet, but as Eugene branched out to a long-distance career, Toya went out on a limb to run this year's Met Gala, and here is how that went.
This is a beautiful house. It look a lot like your last one, but grander. Really? The Harrises have moved again. The people thought I was gonna be written forever, but no.
Toya, Eugene. I like Toya. I like Toya because I feel like she has a good heart. And I feel like her intentions are good most of the time. But I feel like the moving when you have children, I just feel like children need stability. And whether you have money or not, that doesn't, I mean, the constant jumping up and down and just getting a new house and constantly getting a new house. Like, what is really going on? Why are you doing that? Why did every house is your forever home? Is there ever really going to be a forever home? Or is this just something that maybe she enjoys doing because she's a stay-at-home mom? Nothing against that. That's the hardest job in the world, and people don't give her enough credit for that. I think she has been continually ridiculed on this show for being a stay-at-home mom, but there's some things that she does, like the moving constantly. I just don't think that's her husband's idea. I think that that's her idea. And I mean, whether they're getting money, you know, that's a great thing. They're selling the homes, they're getting, you know, residual money, they're flipping, whatever they're doing. I just feel like it's a lot of confusion when you have children. I mean, as parents, we should be focused on stability and routine and having things be kind of like familiar to kids. I don't know. Maybe her kids are used to that. I don't know. God bless them. They're taking care of their kids. They're a great family. I don't always like how people come down on how her and Eugene's dynamics are as a couple. I think they have a realistic dynamic, let's be honest. She has her own opinion. She voices that to her husband. I don't like the maybe calling him out his name and being rude and being, we shouldn't be doing that as women. Do I do it? Have I done it? Yes. Should we be doing that as women? No. And publicly in front of a camera, like ridiculing your husband and like talking down to him, that can come off bad. But I think they have the most realistic dynamic relationship-wise on the show. You're going to have disagreements with your spouse. You're going to argue with your spouse. And, you know, what's her name? The new one, the psychologist, Dr. Mimi. She needs to be careful because I think that she is... she comes off to be a little judgmental in regards to how Toya and Eugene are speaking back and forth to each other. And sometimes those couples on these shows that try to portray like they have everything together and they're so perfect are the ones that, you know, crumble faster than any other couple. You got to look at it like this. Eugene and Toya have been together for a long time. And like she said, it's been no scandals or anything. So, you know, keep your mouth off of their marriage because whatever they are doing is working. They're still together, you know, and they're thriving. So, but the moving Toya, girl, stay put. And that cherry blossom tree in the closet is the bomb. Me and my daughter loved it. We thought it was so cute. But just stay put. Stay in this house, girl. Get comfortable.
House and lead your friends to the side.
And you can do it in a nice way, or you can do it in a mean way.
I did it in a nice way first. I've been asking you for the last 30 minutes. I have never seen anything like this before.
What did you just say?
Don't you cuss at me because you don't want me to curse at you. Like, this is cringy. We felt like Toya would make a great chairperson. We didn't think that. We thought that it would teach her a lesson. Toya is a party planner, okay? Tea time, that's it. Let's just pay our money, split this up so we don't have to hear this no more. Why don't she just shut her mouth? Promise you I might strangle somebody at the Met Gala.
Okay.
And just how you heard how Mimi was sitting there and she was, oh, I never seen anything like this. You never seen people argue? You never seen a couple argue? You never seen, you know, two couples that have been together for years go back and forth and then, you know, 20 minutes later they're hugging and kissing? That's normal. Like, people have disagreements. I don't look at what they go through on camera and look at it like, oh my God, that's so cringy. I look at it like my parents was arguing. And they was together up until my mom passed away 2012. Her and my dad were still married. They went through things. That's actually strengthens a relationship. The more you go through things and realize each other's differences and, you know, the common things you had and, you know, what this person might not like and what this person does like, that strengthens your relationship. She's sitting there, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a somebody, talking about it's cringy. Girl. And then Heavenly gonna sit there and say, we don't want her to do it for this reason. We want to do it to teach her a lesson. This is why I don't like that hag. I don't like her. If Andy would send me an email, I would strictly, on this show, I would say get rid of Dr. Jackie, get rid of Dr. Heavenly. Who else? Right now. Oh, and Quad. Oh, God. How could I forget Quad? Yes, get rid of Quad.
On everybody's mind is, are you still in the house?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The shade of it. Where else am I going to be?
Well, you've had many homes.
Yes, I've purchased them all.
Okay. I'm not questioning the ownership. Heavenly, do you think this is Toya's forever home?
No, I don't. I think that she probably will sell it in a few years, get a profit, and probably move to a condo by herself somewhere.
By herself?
I mean, damn, did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
Like out loud. I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I feel like she's going to sell it, get a great profit, and move into something higher. With her husband. Okay.
Tasha from Inglewood, California said maybe if Toya treated Eugene with more respect, he wouldn't want to spend all that time on the road.
Yeah, I think that is someone projecting like other people on that side of the couch. She doesn't have a clue what's going on in my home. We don't yell all the time, but it happens.
Yeah, you can't judge isolated incidences that are being caught on a camera as that's someone's everyday life. I agree with Toya on that. Me and her and her husband had a little back and forth on the camera a few times throughout the years. Normal. At least they're not sitting up there Cheshire Cat smiling and acting like everything is perfect in their relationship, and then he's cheating and she's doing this, and they're being real in front of the camera. They're being their authentic selves in front of the camera. I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, I just feel like as a therapist, whatever, psychologist, psychiatrist, whatever her professional degree standing is, that she's coming off to be a little judgmental. I don't know. It's a little strange.
When you said Toya's skip workday party looked more like a day in the life for her, do you stand by that comment?
I stand by that. Toya has a great life. She keeps an immaculate house, and she keeps her house up well. No one would ever be able to go there and say it needed pressure washing. Bitch, your house nasty. Pressure wash this mother. You done set us all up for mother contamination. Ooh, the burn. The burn. The pressure washer, baby. They got the pressure washer out there.
Paula from Clearwater, Florida said, Toya, you said some women love watching you and Eugene argue while misrepresenting their own relationships.
I just think that it is very easy for certain ladies to deflect. You haven't seen any cheating in my relationship. My husband's not telling me he doesn't trust me with my son. So let's stop with the shenanigans. I think everyone on this stage should honestly stay out of my relationship.
If you wouldn't put it out there, we wouldn't have
Unless
anything
we
to
want
say.
Toya to really tell.
Go ahead, please. Open the book, please, for everyone. Because there's a book that hasn't been opened on her relationship as well.
Really? Well, let's talk about it. Because I had a whole next door neighbor that told me about your husband.
I had a whole
and the
person
things that
tell
he
me
does.
about your husband and what he does as well in the hospital and why he was
I
fired.
beg to differ.
I just feel like she's exhausting. She's exhausting. I'm talking about Heavenly. I just feel like somebody that negative, how dare you be really putting your name out there to run for a political position where you're going to have to be assisting people in communities and I don't see her doing that at all. I don't see her being able to be around different kinds of people and speak like she has some sense. Like, I don't like her at all. I just really don't. Ugh.
Make sure that flows all the way through.
That part.
Okay?
And
there's
Victoria,
rumors.
I do
would
have
say
to
there
say,
rumors.
you have spoken on
Say the
marriage.
rumors.
You spoke on my
I've only
marriage.
spoke after, Jackie. Anything that I've spoke about your marriage has been after you brought it to the table.
I
and
never
we had
brought
a
it to the
conversation.
table.
Curtis has his hands on a couple of different ways on our show before. Me being one of those individuals.
I've never spoken about
Okay.
you or Eugene
Okay,
and your
okay.
disrespect.
Man,
to your
that
husband.
age.
It looks good on some of us.
I mean, menopause.
I'm in menopause.
Toya, don't age shame.
Baby, I'm about to be 50. I can talk about age all I want. Jackie, no one's coming to you about Curtis like I could be.
Okay, and nobody's coming
Curtis
to
sat
you.
my husband down and had a whole conversation with
As
him.
he should
telling
have.
him, no, he should not.
As
Curtis
he
is the
should
last
have.
one should be talking to anybody's man.
No, honey.
Well, I mean, for her to go on Watch What Happens Live, I'm talking about Toya, and for her to say that Curtis needs to keep his hands off of people, and then they immediately, as messy as Bravo is, pulled up the clip of him grabbing Toya and sitting and placing Toya on his lap. As a wife, you weren't like, yeah, that's completely inappropriate. Why is your husband touching other women? Why is your husband grabbing other women by the waist and pulling them down and placing them and sitting them on his lap? Is she kidding me? And she's going to say, I didn't bring my marriage or my situation to the table. By agreeing to have everything filmed, you could have quit the show. You didn't have to be on the show and go through with everything. I don't know what it is contractually that they have to do, whatever. But after he cheated, I mean, I'm pretty sure she had the option to leave the show. Like, Jackie, bye, girl. Bye. I don't know. This is just a little small clip of like what was going on in a reunion. I do believe that Quad and King are not together anymore. That is completely suspicious to me. I did a video last year about how she acted at the reunion and also on the couples trip with Dr. G and Sweet Tea. I find her whole position in the show very suspect. I feel like even her coming to the whole table with her storyline this season, and her storyline being the fact that she was unfortunately going through the IVF situation with King. I don't know, just everything about her is just fake to me. When I watch, like, some people, you ever see those people and just everything about them is just animated? It doesn't seem authentic. That's Quad to me. Quad has never seemed authentic to me. And I feel like that she would go above and beyond so that she has a position on this show and a storyline. She denied it when Andy asked her about it, but why would you not let King come on the show? What don't you want King to say? It's given Stacey from Potomac. When with her and the guy, when they had a deal that he was gonna come on the show and like be her so-called boyfriend on the show. And he said that the whole thing was fake and she was paying him. So I don't know. Her stopping, she should have let King come to the reunion. That would have eased my mind some, but I'm just like, it's very suspect that she advised him not, like she basically told him not to come. And then she denied that. He could have came. He told Toya and some other people on the show that she did not want him to come to the reunion. So stay tuned for part 2 of this video. I'm going to keep talking about the reunion and some other things that I've, put together in regards to Quad. So like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for all the support. Don't forget to share this video as well. Put in the comments, what are your favorite, cast members on this show, on Married to Medicine? And is there anybody that you feel as though needs to go? And they kind of like wore out their welcome on the show and needs to go. So just put it in the comments. Let's start the conversation, y'all, because this is crazy. Have a good one. Bye.